Hello. This is going to be a quick little video on how to build a range breakout expert advisor for Ninjatrader, Ninjascript for futures. So let's get to it. First thing you want to do is go to your Ninjatrader control center, new Ninjascript editor. That's going to open this tab. This is where all your strategies and all your code is going to be held. So first, to build the strategy, you want to come to strategies, right click, new strategy, and this is how we'll start it. So we're going to name it YouTube range breakout. Next, this is good. We want it to run every time there's a bar close. Additional data, we don't need that. We don't need any of these. Parameters. This is going to be, we'll just name this candles, and I'll come back to that later. Then we're going to add the take profit in ticks and stop loss in ticks. So these are going to be parameters so that once you have the strategy coded, you can edit these pretty quickly and easily. Next, positive figures, none of those, and now generate. So now this is the code that it generates for us, and this is just the basic code and we're going to build from here on the strategy. So next, I'm going to press compile. This is going to basically save the code, and now it'll show up in your strategies folder. Next, I like to use Visual Studio. So that button right there is going to open it up and let us edit the same strategy in Visual Studio. So here it is, range breakout, and now it's the exact same code as there. Now, first thing we need to do for our range breakout strategy is calculate the range. So to do that, on every bar, we want to take the high and the low of the last X amount of candles and create a range from that. So what we can do is we can create a series, and that is going to store all the values of the highs and lows of the previous candles and compare those to create the range that we're going to use to trade. Then when price breaks the high or the low, that's when it'll either enter long or enter short as it breaks those. So first thing we need to do is create our series, or declare them. So under strategy, you're going to want to put private series double for the data type range highs. So this is where we're going to store all the range highs, basically. Then we're going to do this exact same thing. Actually, we can just do comma range lows. Next, we need to instantiate those series in here, state.data loaded. This will only run one time once the data is all loaded, and then we can basically create our series. So we're going to name it range highs again equals new series double this. Then same thing for range lows equals boom. So there you go. Now we need to, right now this is just a list, or it's a series, but the values don't have anything. They're all null or empty. So what we need to do is we need to fill those with the actual highs and lows. So first, candles, we're going to change that to look back X candles for range. I'm going to rename this to look back candles. Basically, if this is set to 10, then we're going to take the high and the low of the last 10 candles, and that's going to be our range high and our range low. If it's set to 5, then we'll take the last 5 highs and lows and compare those to find the high and the low of the range. So I'm also going to rename this here. And defaults, let's set it to 10. TP and ticks, set that to 25, and stop loss to, I don't know, 18. So first thing, to run the code, we need to make sure we have enough candles loaded already. So we're going to do if current bar is less than look back candles, return. So as the strategy runs, the first candle that the strategy runs on is going to be current bar 0. The second bar is going to be current bar 1. The third bar, current bar 2, and so on. So the current bar counts up as every new bar is printed. So if look back candles is 10 and current bar is 1, or anything less than 10, then we don't have enough candles to create our range. So it's just going to return. Basically skip anything that's underneath it and wait for the next bar on bar update. So this will prevent any errors from coming later of not having enough candles loaded. So next, we are going to create our calculate range logic. So first thing we want to do is so the way Ninjatrader works is we need to find the candle with the highest high value and the lowest low value. So to do that, we need to create an index for that candle. So we're going to do range high index equals highest bar of the high series of each candle, look back candles plus 1. So we want this range high index. Actually no, I can just do integer. So what this is going to do is this is a built-in method, and it's going to find the candle with the highest high value for the last look back candles plus 1. And the reason we want to do plus 1 is to include the current candle, because the current candle is going to be 0, so this will check the last 10 candles. Then we want to do the exact same thing for the lows. Okay, now we have the candle that will hold the high and the low values. Next, we need to find the actual high or low value that we are going to use for the range. So to do that, I'm going to do range high equals the high of range high index. So what this is going to do is going to find the range high index is going to be integer 1 through, in this case, 11 of whichever candle has the highest high. And it's going to say, if it's 5, that means candle 5 candles back has the highest high. So this is going to find the high, the actual high of the candle 5 candles back. So that gives us the range high value. Next, we'll do the exact same for the range low. Then we want to save that to our range highs data series. So we're going to set range highs equals range high. Let's see. There we go. So that's going to send the position 0 range highs to range high. Now we want to do the same thing here. So this should be enough to create our range. Next thing we want to do is plot and make basically draw lines of what our range high, what our trading range is. So basically this will look similar to a Donchian channel. So to do that, first let's create the colors. So for that we want to do private brush upper line color and lower line color. Then in defaults, let's go ahead and set a default for those. Upper line color can be, I'll just make them both blue. There we go. Next, in the defaults, to get these to actually plot, we need to add the plot. So to do that, we do add plot, name it plot highs, and add plot lows. So that'll create the plot for us, and it'll show it on the chart when we load it up. So then, to actually get our series to plot, we set the values. So value 0, which is going to be the first plot that we plot, we set to range highs. Values. There we go. Then the second, what just happened there? 1 is equal to range lows. So from here, this should plot on the chart, and so we should see if it's working or if it's not working. So if you're using Visual Studio, you can just do Control S, it'll save it, and then you can see here it's compiling. If you did that all on the Ninjatrader tab, you just press compile up here. So now let's come to the chart and load it onto the chart. So to do that, you just right click and then click strategies. Then we want to go to YouTube, range breakout, add pot lows, TV ticks. So it looks like everything's saved good. We can do it, yep, YM 5 minutes and enable it. Okay. So it looks like we got an error. Indicator, error on calling, on render method on bar, blah, 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 blah. See, here's running the accident. Okay. Not sure what that means. But that just means we can troubleshoot a little bit. So let's comment these out and comment the plot out. Let's see if that does anything. So compile again. Now we can just go to here, strategies tab, and so here's the strategy. Just hit. Okay. So it looks like that worked. Only thing is, it did not. Well, we don't know if it's working actually, but there's no error at least. So we know the issue is coming from either adding the plot or setting the values. So let's try adding the plot now. Okay. So it seems like that's working too. Let's can go to data, not data series, go to data box. Okay, so the plots are here. They just don't have any values. So we know the issue is coming from these two lines. So let's start printing stuff. So print range highs. Print range lows. And let's see what we get. Just do range highs, just so I can tell. Okay. System. Okay, so it looks like we got the error again. Yeah, uncommented it. Okay. So it's running multiple times before it gets the error on bar update. Oh, this should not be an indicator, so I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, it's a strategy, not really sure why it's getting indicator. So the error definitely comes from here. So let me figure out what the issue is. Alright, so figured out what the issue is, and so we can get rid of the print statements, and so basically everything here worked. It was just here. When we create it, we want it to be able to look back infinite bars, apparently. I'm not sure why that changes anything, but yeah, this is what it took to get it to work. So just change that real quick, compile, and then you might need to remove the strategy because, yeah, you'll probably have to remove it and then add the strategy again. You can't just enable and disable it because the data loaded probably isn't being called again. But with that fixed and compiled, go ahead and enable it, and now it shows our range breakout. And so there we go. Now we have our range, and now we can create the entry and the actual trade logic. So let's go back to Visual Studio. Now, so now we have the range high as a value that we can use to basically use as an entry. So every candle we want to take the range high of the candle before, if that makes sense. So we want to take, if the current candle, you want to take the last 10 candles, use that range, and then place stop orders at the top and the bottom. So what we're going to do is every candle we're going to do enter long stop market. Then we want stop price. Yeah, all we need is stop price. So for stop price, we are going to do range highs one, 0. It's one of those. We might have to come back and test this. Then enter short stop market range lows 0. So that will set a stop order at the high and the low of the range. And then Ninjatrader by default is going to cancel both those orders after every new bar. So we also want to add a TP and stop loss. So for Ninjatrader, that's pretty easy. We just do set profit target calculation mode.ticks, since we're using ticks, and then TP in ticks. Set stop loss calculation mode.ticks, and then stop loss in ticks. And so you want to call those before you enter, and it'll automatically create, and one cancels the other orders, so you don't have to worry about it, and it should work just like that. So we're going to compile. Let this thing compile. Clear this. And now we are getting trades. So looks like it's working. One thing that's going to be confusing about this is that for this candle, right when this candle opens, we are taking the range for this candle. So this was the low. Wait. No, ignore that. I was looking at red. Stop loss. Okay. So for this candle, right when this candle opens, right? It opens right here. We're going to take the range that it was for this candle. So we can see it was here and here. So orders were set there and there. Now, since this candle enters that order, take the buy and then get stopped out. So even though it doesn't look like it broke it, you have to think that this candle did not print this part of the blue line yet. It only saw up to here. So yeah, that should be a working range breakout. And then if you wanted to test the performance, you can do this, and you can see this strategy lost, I mean, over the last, I think this unloaded 50 days. I mean, yeah, it did pretty bad. But that's just a basic strategy. You know, you can always add more stuff, optimize it, different take profit. And to do that, you just disable edit strategy, and now automatically you can change this to say 100, 250, and 180. And there, and now boom. Now you have much bigger ranges, and then also much bigger take profit and stop losses. So this one looks pretty bad, not gonna lie. They're all hitting stop loss, but you can do 25. Let's do 13 and 20. Since range breakouts, you really just are trying to capture a little bit of a move. So yeah, there you go. Actually, yeah, so you can see you probably wouldn't want to run this. I mean, this one didn't lose too much. It's profitable for a little bit, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and add this right now. So obviously you probably won't want to trade, like this, where it's obviously in a trending market, you're going to be taking a lot of entries. So one thing we can do, let's add a new input. We're just going to copy this, paste a new one. We're going to name this wait X candles between trades. And then we'll name it wait X candles. Then let's come up to set defaults. Set wait X candles to 10 works. And now, before we set our pending limits, or stop limits, stop orders, we can do if is bar, no, if is if, let me think what it is, bar since exit execution. So this will count, counts the number of bars since a trade was closed. So if bar since exit execution is less than wait X candles, then we return. So that would just skip this logic down here. Bars is less than wait X. And now will be every time it'll be forced to wait that many candles. So let's compile this and check it. Gonna have to, actually we'll see. Yep, gonna have to remove and then add the strategy again. Add. Now let's do wait X candles. Yeah, 10 works. Do apply. Enable it. Now let's see. Okay. So looks like it took 0 trades. Let's just check that. Yeah, it took 0 trades. So since it never entered a trade, it never exited. So we need to also add or bars since execution equals -1. And -1 just means that there hasn't been one yet. Okay, wait, that's not gonna work either. I'm gonna do and exit since does not equal -1. So then if it does, it's gonna this will be false and it will execute this. If this is true, then it will just return. And it's not, and yeah, so this should work. So let's compile that. There we go. So now it's working. Now when it's trending, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still is taking a lot of trades. So let's edit that and change it to 50. There we go. Now they're a lot more spread out. And you can start to test from there. Well, awesome. That is how you build a range breakout Ninjatrader expert or advisor. So thanks for watching. If you want this code, I think I might be creating a Discord soon. If not, just comment. Hopefully I see it and then I can email it to you or just send it to you on Discord or whatever. So yeah, thanks for watching.